Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Casey Johnson. I am your play-by-play announcer and head of production for Emerge Wrestling, and welcome to the card reveal for Emerge 21 Blowback. The first person I'd like to welcome in here today, as always, that's going to be helping us break down why these matches were called. Of course, I want to welcome in, first things first, the commissioner of Emerge, Christopher Lowe. Hello, how you doing today, Chris? So, before we bring in A.W. Lurch here in a second, I want you to take a second to comment a bit on the company. You've been now doing the commissioner gig for a while now. It's been a few shows. What do you think the state of Emerge is at the moment?
Selfishly, let me say that when I first got the commissionership gig, I think you're the first person I told I didn't really want it. But, you know, as a fan, it is a pleasure to put these things together. And as for Emerge itself, as for Emerge itself, I was nervous when we came back, but every show has been just fantastic. And, you know, we can't do it, of course, without the fans. So thanks for coming to 21. I forgot the Blowback. Is going to be even better. So.
And the reason why it's called Blowback we will get into here soon. But for now, I want to welcome in the third member of our panel. As always, I think we're really building a cadence here for these things. But as right now, I am proud to announce actually another permanent member of the Emerge commentary team as well, Mr. A.W. Lurch.
How we doing, guys?
I'm good.
Hey, sorry I had my phone on out there. I had a little feedback. I put it on mute as soon as I could while I was waiting. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
Yeah, no problem. It's, you know, you got to watch your own project sometime. Yeah, Chris was freaked out. He thought he was hearing something. So, Lurch, you sat next to myself and Richie the entirety of Emerge 20 Outbreak Reach for the Sky. Same question, I guess, that I asked Chris. What do you think Emerge is at right now? Because I know all three of us were highly impressed with the action.
Absolutely. I mean, Emerge Wrestling is on the up and up. I mean, this is the most tremendous collection of talent I've seen in a wrestling promotion in at least 20 years. Expect big things, people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the way that we started off Emerge 20 is now going to be very similar to the way that we start off Emerge 21. So, Chris, go ahead and let's talk about our first match.
Can you really call it a match at this point? Once again, Davidson has come out. Has come out, and he's going to issue an open challenge. I don't know who's going to be willing to take him up on that, but I can't imagine to beat Dakota Prodigy.
Yeah.
I hope not. Davidson destroyed Dakota Prodigy in the last Open Challenge. I'm surprised that Dakota Prodigy stepped up to the plate. You know, he showed a lot of hope. He showed a lot of promise, but you know what? He did not deliver. Didn't really expect it, Casey. It was as predicted. We were there at ringside. I don't think you know. Dave Davidson's a pro. I mean,
yeah. How impressive was Dave Davidson in his official debut, though? Incredibly.
Absolutely. And
when he came off the ropes and he hit Dakota Prodigy with that lights out, that roaring elbow, I'm pretty sure Dakota still has a headache from that. Had to be carried out yet again. And then, of course, after the match, we had an assault by Alistair Wilde on Dakota Prodigy, which I assume is something that you're looking into a little bit, but we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, it is. I've got no words for it.
Alistair was angry. I mean, when I
Alistair
saw his
is
eyes,
angry all the time.
But when I saw his eyes after that, I mean, there were what 5, 6 guys holding him back. I mean,
Yeah.
He was not in. He was dangerous at that moment.
I mean, we have tried to get comments from Alistair after the last 2 shows, and our camera will not record him.
No, and
It's amazing to see how angry one young man can possibly be. And this guy hasn't been in the business all that long. He is a recent graduate of the School of Rock, but he's definitely making a lot of strides. Speaking, however, of School of Rock graduates, we have the return of one here in this next match. Of course, Trevor Court has been lighting Emerge on fire ever since he took Kyle Maverick's spot at Aftermath. And I think, in my personal opinion, he's been showing out incredibly well, and he's been doing a good job for himself, including probably the craziest moment of, well, in a match filled with crazy moments, but one of the craziest moments in that ladder match at Emerge 20, when there was a pile driver off the apron through a table right next to us, Lurch.
wow, that table exploded. That table exploded. They went. I mean, Mark Vandy's head went straight through it to the ground. I haven't seen anything like that.
I was watching the table actually when it exploded, and there was this one little piece of wood that just went up, and I'm pretty sure it landed somewhere in the third row. These guys, and there are 2 big guys who went through it. So Trevor Court is definitely somebody to watch out for. But Commissioner Lowe, you have negotiated, and really it isn't so much as a negotiation as we've been waiting for this guy to get back, but you have brought back an Emerge faithful.
Spitfire, Sage Phillips. It's been several months since we saw Sage. Of course, in the past, teaming with Infinite Cole Radrick. He deserves to be back.
Yeah. Of course, he and Cole Radrick formed the Hysteria. Last time we saw that team together, it was downtown against the Eastside Elite in the main event. While we were gone, Sage Phillips suffered an ACL tear, I believe a couple other injuries. He's been working hard to get back, and I was talking with him the other day. This is actually going to be his first match back from that injury, live at Emerge 21.
And he's going against Trevor Court.
Yeah, that's a tall order.
That's unfortunate. I hate to break it to you, but Trevor Court, I've been watching him. He is one of my top favorites at Emerge right now.
Well, yes, but Sage is always fighting an uphill battle. He is a smaller guy, and he prides himself on his ability to, wear down opponents. Like, I mean, my favorite move that he does is the Philosopher's Stomp. It shows exactly what he's about. He picks apart his opponent with his mind and then with his body. And you cannot discredit anybody from the School of Rock, that's for sure. Trevor Court, also a graduate, I believe.
Yeah, 2 very well-matched individuals. Like you said, styles are different, but as different as there are, many similarities remain, and it's going to be a very athletic match, I think.
Yeah, and I talked to Sage Phillips the other day, just getting some production stuff from him, and I find it interesting how, of course, Sage Phillips, another one of those key original members of the Hellfire Club, and he is in a state of mind very much like Cole Radrick, where he believes that he was done wrong by the Hellfire Club, that when he got injured, they just kind of threw him to the side and replaced him. And this is an angry young man, but I've seen him have a change of heart here. And I believe he cares a little bit more. He understands, I think, kind of what, Christopher Icon did, which I know you're an Icon admirer, so we probably won't get into that too much. But
I mean, in his defense, if somebody is injured, they have to be replaced. I mean, the show must go on, the competition must happen, matches must continue, and he must be replaced. But
Well,
who's to say he's not going to come back? I mean, he could have come back. I mean, why wouldn't he come back?
Judging by comments that I've heard from this guy, and we're hoping to get a camera to him soon to be able to get thoughts directly from him, but he is not happy with the situation that he had. And yes, people need to be replaced in the meantime, but for Christopher Icon to throw out the entirety of the original Hellfire Club and just replace them with completely new guys, I think has rubbed a lot of these guys the wrong way. And one person who we know for a fact it has rubbed the wrong way is Jeremy Hadley. Probably the loudest I have ever seen an Emerge crowd get. I was sitting ringside for the 8-Bit Punks winning the tag championships, which they almost did again.
Right.
I was sitting there ringside when Chris Caliber won the Outbreak Championship. I called Apollo Star winning the Emerge Championship. I don't think I have ever heard the crowd scream any louder than when Jeremy Hadley delivered that super kick to Joey Moore.
Yeah. They were happy, and apparently Joey Moore was very deserving of that. And you're right. They were on their feet. They were excited. I mean, I've never seen Jeremy Hadley before. This is my first time here at Emerge, and I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, and so we have a 6-man tag here with the entirety of the Hellfire Club, as in Johnny Stratland, Kenneth James, and the aforementioned Joey Moore going up against Chris Caliber, Jeremy Hadley, and Ricky Ruckus, who are the 3 most unlikely people to team up that I have ever seen. Ruckus and Caliber had a bloodthirsty feud early on in Emerge, including a classic submission match. Everybody knows about Hadley and Caliber, and as Hadley mentioned, he and Ricky never really had that much of a beef, but by proxy, they have not been fans of each other. So what my question is do you think that Hadley can be trusted in this environment?
That's a tough one. I mean, Hadley was my top priority in getting back to Emerge, so I was very glad to see him come back. But as trustworthiness to those in the ring, I don't know.
And I was actually backstage trying to get an interview with Jeremy Hadley, and we caught a really tense confrontation between Hadley and Caliber, which you folks will be able to see here in just a couple of weeks when we release it on youtube.com/Emerge Pro Wrestling and the Facebook page, of course. But these two are wary of each other, and I'm not in a position to doubt that. But one thing that I've heard Hadley say is that he wants to proliferate the business, and he feels that the Hellfire Club right now is not helping the business in any way.
Well, I sure hope that at least the Hellfire Club protects Christopher Icon and the business that he is trying to conduct in this match, because Hadley and Caliber used to be clients of his. It seems to me like he's playing defense here.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking earlier about Christopher Icon, and he right now, I feel like he is caught in the he has a tendency to make some very powerful enemies with his business dealings. I mean, Sage Phillips, wonderful soldier for the Hellfire Club, took Donnie Idol to the limit. He's now really ticked off at Icon. Same with Cole Radrick. Same with Jeremy Hadley. Same with Chris Caliber. When people turn on Icon, they turn on him hard. So you've got to wonder what's going through his head and where he's at.
Well, there is no doubt that he is probably looking to expand his base, is all I can guess.
And then we have Ricky Ruckus. And Ricky Ruckus is an interesting part of this equation, Chris, because you were the one, as we all saw at Emerge 20, who found Ricky Ruckus hurt, let's say, backstage. What are you thinking about his decision to get in the ring after that?
I think I'm concerned. He shouldn't have gotten into the ring at the last show. Ricky's got. He'll tell you himself. He's got more guts than brains. So.
And Lurch, we've sat here right in this room and we've seen those guts firsthand.
I swear, Casey Johnson, you brought it up. I wasn't even going to mention it. But last live stream, Ricky Ruckus came in here and drugged me out of here like I was some kind of United Airlines passenger. I mean, that is uncalled for. And if that happens again in this studio, there will be a lawsuit, and I will be paid just like that guy.
Well, my question, however, is when Ricky sees red, how hard is it to stop him?
He's dangerous. I'm not going to lie. I was instantly thrown into the hallway, and the door was closed on me. But, you know, I'm not trying to fight the guy. Let's be honest. I'm just saying, let me work here, and let me, you know, don't throw me out of my chair. That's all.
Well, speaking of dangerous, our next match might be dangerous. But right now that we have all of you here with us, I want to remind you, drop #emerge in the comments of this live stream for a chance to win some tickets to the show, not to mention this lovely Emerge shot glass. So that's, you know, we like to incentivize people to watch our product, and hey, free tickets to the show is going to incentivize you every time. Now, Chris,
so all they have to do is write #emerge in the comments.
Drop #emerge in the comments. You'll be entered, and a winner will be chosen soon.
Wow. Simple.
Yep. So, Chris, we were actually talking about this match a little bit earlier. This match, you're not to disappoint the fans,
right?
But we're having a bit of an issue for it. So, I guess you just take the floor, and we hope to have the situation resolved by the show. But
yeah,
we're in a tough position.
Yeah, the Mastodon, J.D. Mariani. Former Emerge champion. We can't get anyone to get into the ring with him. That's the tall and the short of it.
Couldn't blame him.
Yeah, but still, Emerge is as often as we're getting people wanting to come in and wrestle for Emerge.
Wait, hold on. Lurch, you should probably...
Yellow.
Lurch,
you're on live.
Lurch, you should probably turn off your ringer. Who is this?
This is Dakota Prodigy.
Dakota Prodigy.
Wow.
And for what purpose are you calling in, Mr. Prodigy?
Well, I feel that I have to make an example and an opportunity of myself to prove to people that think that just because I got beat up last time that I'm not worthy of a match this time.
Well, you didn't just get beat up. You got thrown around like a rag doll by Dave Davidson. You did have an early shot at it, I saw, but man.
So what exactly is the purpose of your call, Mr. Prodigy?
Well, the purpose of my call is it's to prove that through my eyes, see through your eyes, you saw me get beat up, and the rest of the world saw me get beat up. But through my eyes, I saw myself get back up off the floor. And see, after I scraped myself off the floor and I carried myself to the back, I told myself that any time that there was going to be an opportunity for me to prove myself, that I was going to take that opportunity. So here I am called to take an opportunity.
Wait, well, hold on. You don't want to face J.D. Mariani, do you?
If that's what the night calls for, and that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do.
Whoa. No way.
Look, Dakota, I support you. I'm glad to have you aboard, but I can't in good conscience allow that.
Why not?
He makes a good point.
He's the Mastodon.
He's the
This is
Mastodon.
J.D. Mariani. Why not?
He puts guys on the shelf, quite frankly, you're not the biggest guy on the roster. Why would you want to go?
Well, unlike bigger guys on the roster, they probably don't have to worry about picking themselves back up. See, I want to make an opportunity of picking myself up. If he thinks he can throw me to the ground and that I can't get back up, then I challenge him to throw me to the ground.
I mean, you do need an opponent.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to do this?
I think you should do it. I think you should do it.
Okay. All right. If
Give me
you
the opportunity.
okay, but so long as you're willing to sign a hold harmless agreement, if you can do that, you've got the match.
Are there going to be ambulances present? Are we sure about this? I mean,
We always have medical technicians on hand, but
okay.
well, Dakota, I guess.
Last chance to back out. Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm going to push those ambulances away the same way I was pushing that referee when I had to crawl to the back. I said it once before, and I'll say it again. I'm here to prove that I can get back up, and I will.
Oh, good luck, Dakota.
Best of luck to you.
Well,
I have this match.
I guess thank you for your time, Dakota.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
What is
Oh,
he
God.
thinking? Wow.
Wow.
You know, though, I got to say to his credit, because the first Emerge show that I ever worked at, and I ran ringside camera, was Emerge 9 Sacrifice. And at that show, a young man who was a lot smaller than J.D. Mariani made his debut by accepting a challenge from J.D. Mariani. The man's name was Kyle Maverick. And it didn't take long. Well, folks, sorry about that. You know, we've been doing these live streams for a while now. I'm surprised this is the first one that's cut out.
Yeah, it's gone surprisingly well.
Yeah, well, I guess fourth time is the charm on the live streams going out. But one thing that I did want to bring up before we went away from that match, of course, if you're just now joining us, Dakota Prodigy, for some reason, accepting the challenge of J.D. Mariani when nobody else would, which, brownie points and all. But what is happening with the Battle Beast?
You said there was some dissension. I thought, all I know is when I was in the ring, Nikki Mariani instructed that she wanted people to die. Heads on stakes is what I believe I heard. There is something going on, but the question is what? You tell me, Casey.
I don't know. I've never, even back to the Beauty and the Beast days a long time ago, I've never seen the Battle Beast have so many, miscommunications.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, there's something definitely up.
Speaking of miscommunication.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows? I just try to stay out of their way.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. And you got to figure if the Battle Beast can stay on the same page, I don't think there's a tag team in Emerge that can't be beat by them when they're going at full force.
No doubt. They are a force to be reckoned with. They're huge. Both of them are very well-rounded wrestlers, no pun intended. They are absolute beasts in the ring. I've seen them destroy people left and right for at least a decade. So I hope they can get along. For the sake of competition, I hope these guys can put their heads together and push forward and get along. But they are being riled up by a violent message, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And now that we're actually technically on a new live stream here, I will remind everybody, hashtag emerge in the comments of this video or in the comments of the last one. We will be choosing a winner soon for some free tickets to the show and, of course, this lovely shot glass that has the Emerge logo on it. You know what? And this paper clip.
Oh.
And the paperclip.
Yeah.
Wow. You have to do it now, people. Hashtag emerge right in the comments. It's that easy, and you get the paperclip.
So we have a return to Emerge and a debut in Emerge with the next match, Chris.
Yeah. Ace Perry, first Outbreak champ. He's been fairly successful in Emerge, but it's been a while since we've seen him, and I know he's a big favorite of a lot of our fans. So he'll be back, and he'll be facing Mr. Scotty Young.
Scotty Young, one of the fastest rising young stars in the Midwest, but unfortunately he knows it.
Well, he's good, and he does know it. But I mean, Scotty Young. I mean, he's good. He'll tell you about it, and I see a lot in him. He's got a mean streak too.
Yeah, and Ace Perry and Scotty Young know each other very, very well. It seems like every card you find Ace on, Scotty isn't too far behind. And this is not the first time that the two of them have faced against each other. There is a lot of history there. And, you know, this reminds me of Ace's matches, his wars earlier on in Emerge with Joe Pittman, where at that time, and you know, Joe Pittman is a completely different guy now. Please come back, Joe Pittman.
Please.
And
Hashtag comeback Joe.
at that moment, he was really just the epitome of the high school bully.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think Scotty, God love him, is kind of in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of that spoiled rich kid at school that is just full of himself, never takes any personal responsibility for anything, just loves trash talking. But I think the difference with Scotty Young is Scotty Young can back it up.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Young is small and quick, and he's incredibly skilled, but it's going to take a lot to overcome the first Outbreak champion,
Yeah, he's
that classic 2 out of 3 falls, Ace Perry.
I got Scotty Young in this one. I'm sorry. He is too quick. He is too athletic. Scotty Young is a superstar. He's got it written all over him. I mean, that's my pick. Sorry.
So, as we move on to this next match here, Chris, I'd like to give you the opportunity to address something that happened at last show.
yes.
Because there are a lot of people, A.W. Lurch included, that do not agree with the decision that you made at last show, and I believe you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you want to take that moment, Lurch, if you have any questions, I guess now's your time to hash it out.
We, quite frankly, Emerge advertised a tag team championship match between Pretty Perfect and the 8-Bit Punks. This wasn't a surprise to either members of Pretty Perfect. I don't know why one person showed and one didn't, but the point is we advertised a tag team championship match, and as long as somebody is there, they need to defend it.
Oh, come on. Pretty Perfect. I mean, things come up. Things happen. That's not fair. I mean, just because Austin Tyler Morris couldn't make it, you shouldn't put him in a 2-on-1 for the handicap match. For the Emerge Tag Team Championship.
I heard Jordan Cage telling somebody backstage that Austin Tyler Morris was injured in the grueling, hard, physical tournament that they had to go through to win those championships, and unfortunately he was resting his injuries in Orlando on WrestleMania weekend.
Well, that's fair.
Suspect. Yeah, I like I said, I don't. If someone can show up and someone can compete and a match has been advertised, they need to back it up. I don't care if you got the flu or if half your team's not there.
Well, let's not be mistaken. Picture perfect Jordan Cage backed it up. He kept the titles. He brought those titles back home.
Yeah, by DQ.
True.
Intentionally hot-shotting the ref. I don't know.
He's lucky it wasn't Commissioner Lowe, the way he treated him. That's the way I'm thinking.
And I got to feel for the 8-Bit Punks as far as that went, because they got the pin on Jordan Cage, and they had those titles just for a minute. But unfortunately, as the ball rolls, we have new number one contenders who, in my personal opinion, and I think the 8-Bit Punks would tell you this as well, have earned this shot.
Oh, absolutely. BAD, they have dominated the first year of Emerge. They're wildly popular now. They've, I'm not going to say completely demolished the Battle Beasts, but they more than held their own, and they deserve a shot.
In that first tag team match, we saw the unthinkable, or what I thought was the unthinkable, when Big Chris Morris picked up J.D. Mariani. But then you repeat that this time, and Yukon Mike able to get Jacob Johns up, and I ruined my voice right there. You were in the middle of making a point, and then all of a sudden we turned to the right, and the Battle Beasts were in the air. Nobody was expecting that.
No, and the arena exploded when that happened. I mean, that was insane.
And if we thought that was them exploding, then when BAD got that 1, 2, 3 count on the Battle Beasts, it exploded much louder. And as such, when you make that kind of an explosion, there is going to be some blowback. And their blowback in this case is an Emerge Tag Team Championship match against both members of Pretty Perfect. And we've already confirmed both members are showing up this time.
Well, that's awfully smart of them. And the question is BAD smart enough to outthink Pretty Perfect, I think, guys? And
you have pure brute strength with some athleticism versus, in my personal opinion, the two greatest minds in the Emerge Tag Team division. These guys, like I've said many times before, are the masters at cutting off the ring, isolating your opponent. The only difference is with BAD, those guys do have the ability to power back to their feet, throw you across the ring, and make it back to their own corner. So I'm really excited for this match because you have got to think it's going to be interesting.
BAD, they're on a streak. I mean, you're right. It's a tag team championship match. Anything could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if BAD won the titles.
And if anything can happen in Emerge, then we must talk about last show when Zodiac got scary again.
Yeah.
I've talked with Zodiac. He says that he wanted Lennox to have flashbacks. And he let his anger get the best of him, which is not all that common for Zodiac. And it was a DQ. So as a result of the match stipulations that you laid down on this live stream, Lennox now gets a title shot against Zodiac. And what an opportunity this is for the bronzed one, Lennox Norris.
Yeah, a guy who's certainly deserving, and I think he matches up quite well with Zodiac, and that's why I booked the match.
I think early on in that match, especially before the disqualification, we saw how Lennox started to pick apart Zodiac's weak points, got more convincing 2 counts than I've ever seen on Zodiac. I think this could be when Zodiac loses it, Lurch.
Oh, it could be. You're absolutely right. they have some history, don't they? I mean, this goes back even before. I mean, I was around here. What happened before that? What is going on that deep?
Emerge 10 Conquest.
Mm-hmm.
The incident that got Zodiac fired from Emerge hits Lennox Norris with a fireball.
Okay.
He gets ousted. Rightfully, some people believe. Wrongfully, other people believe. And then at Emerge 11, at the first Emergence Day, Lennox Norris was in the E8 tournament. And at that time, the E8 tournament was 2 Fatal 4-Ways. And the 2 winners of the Fatal 4-Ways were in a final. Lennox, many people believe, was one of the favorites to win. He did not win because his eye was still bandaged up, he still wasn't at full strength, and he tried everything that he possibly could, but he was the first one eliminated from that match. Jacob Johns went on to win that match and then fell to Apollo Star in the finals. So Lennox, it's kind of sweet, bittersweet in a way, because Lennox Norris believes that Zodiac took away his shot. A shot that he very well could have won against, it would have been J.D. Mariani.
With a fireball.
With a fireball.
And the smell that we smelled with that whatever he had at the show at the end.
And thank God that didn't light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we've all seen the science experiment with the deodorant and the lighter and what happens to the little orange.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have been Lennox Norris. And it's where we've got to talk about the fact that Zodiac is a dangerous guy. But I think Lennox has what it takes to take him.
He definitely has he has that drive in him. He definitely wants some revenge, it seems. This is a situation where he is going against the monster Zodiac, who doesn't care.
Yeah, you mentioned, you just said doesn't care. When I brought Zodiac back, we've mentioned before, he's highly intelligent, very smart, very well spoken, and he couldn't promise me that he wouldn't fall back into old habits, but I was of the opinion he was stable enough to bring back to Emerge. I'm kind of concerned he may be backsliding.
Well, none of this is to count Lennox Norris out. Lennox Norris, a 10-year at least veteran of this industry, has wrestled all over the world on multiple continents. He has one of the most polished styles. He has an incredible knowledge of technical wrestling, and Lennox has this swagger about him. But that swagger is justified, and he backs it up. And when he takes his moment to pander to the fans, it's when he has a free moment. He understands how to take down, I think, anybody. And in that match where Zodiac threw the fireball, he was close then, too. Mm-hmm. So I think if anybody has a shot at this, Lennox does.
We shall see.
And that is your main event. Back down, running down our matches yet again. Dave Davidson has issued another open challenge. Anybody will accept it, but we have now confirmed it's not going to be Dakota Prodigy again.
Right.
Trevor Court versus the returning Sage Phillips, one of the fastest rising stars in Emerge, and a star that lost its shine way too early on last year. And Sage Phillips is coming back and looking to make a name for himself. In my opinion, probably the match I'm looking forward to most here, and there are a lot of good matches on this show, but the Hellfire Club, Kenneth James, Joey Moore, and Johnny Stratland versus Ricky Ruckus, Jeremy Hadley, and Chris Caliber, 6-man tag. J.D. Mariani versus Dakota Prodigy.
Don't laugh.
I'm sorry. JD's so big and he's so little.
You heard it right, folks.
Ace Perry versus Scotty Young in what looks to be a quick-moving, high-flying showcase of two younger guys, both looking to find their footing in Emerge.
That's going to be fun to watch.
BAD versus Pretty Perfect for the Emerge Tag Team Championships. And in your main event, Lennox getting the shot that he believes was taken away from him, the bronze one, Lennox Norris, versus the Emerge champion Zodiac. Emerge Championship is on the line. We will have tickets ready to go here in the next couple of days. You can reserve your spot right now. This is going to be an amazing show, and I'm sure it's going to be packed with surprises as always. I've never seen Emerge not deliver on a show.
And we deliver for those fans who deliver to us each and every month. Hey, Emerge 20 was amazing, and it was all in large part to you guys being such a great crowd. From the bottom of my heart, you guys are the best fans in professional wrestling. Thanks.
A.W. Lurch, what are you looking forward to the most here?
I mean, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between the Hellfire Club match and Ruckus Caliber and Hadley, or the tag match with Pretty Perfect and BAD. I mean, both of those matches. I mean, they're going to be amazing, and I really want to see what's going to happen.
I got to say, sleeper pick, one thing that I'm really looking forward to is seeing how Sage Phillips is in the ring.
Oh, gosh.
He's determined to prove himself now. You got to think that ring rust is going to be there, but you never have ring rust on your brain. Mm-hmm. And that is Sage Phillips' strategy. He knows how to pick apart opponents. Trevor Court, Rising Star as well. Both of these guys are very determined to solidify their spot in that upper championship scene. And I think whoever wins this match is going to go a long way in doing so.
What does it say about Sage's confidence in his first match back, agreeing to take on an opponent of Trevor Court's caliber?
Yeah, definitely. Well, folks, that is Emerge 21 Blowback. And as always, we're going to end this out by giving our commissioner, Chris, a couple of minutes to address you guys and say, well, whatever's on his mind.
Yeah, we'll see. As always, a great production. Casey Johnson and A.W. Lurch, thank you. I've already mentioned it, but Emerge 20 was amazing. A lot of that has to do with the fact that we packed Parkside Elementary. Emerge 21, Blowback, is going to have some explosive moments, some great matches, and some surprises. Again, from all of us here at Emerge, to you the fan, thanks.